All right, guys, good morning and happy January 16th. It is Monday, ready to go full tilt with you guys. And so thank you for being here. I know it is a national holiday, but you are spending some time here with me. And so thank you guys for being here. So as always, let's do this. I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field in true fast form. And I'm going to pick somebody that has their camera on and is not driving. Let's go to Griselda. Griselda, I saw you out there doing your thing, dancing it up, having some fun. Hopefully you had an amazing time and you weren't too spent yesterday. So Griselda, let's hear from you. Have you bring us all out on the field on this glorious, beautiful Monday morning?
Oh, I had the best time.
We know.
I know I saw you. But if you guys were there, one of the things that comes to mind is there's joy in the revolution. And when we walked in there and I saw Kenny and he gave me the biggest hug and he was smiling, he was so happy. That was the first thing that came to mind. Like, joy is in the revolution. I hope that you guys felt that joy, that you guys partied hard, that you came through and just celebrated life and this team. And yeah, I think that it was such a blessed night. And so let's go get it. Let's make this year great. Also, I want to point out, you guys, we always talk about the new year, new me, but I want to make it like point it out that you guys should make room for abundance. Okay. It is our divine right to have abundance in our life. So just open that space up for one another and for yourselves and just go get it. Go get it.
Wow. Like, I am super impressed, Griselda. I don't know if I've ever had you bring us out on the field. That was really powerful. What was the thing that you started out with, the joy and the what? Say that one more time.
Joy is in the revolution.
And when you say joy is in the revolution, elaborate on that for me. What do you mean the revolution?
Well, we always hear like the revolution will not be televised, right? But like there's also joy in that. Let's feel it. Let's ride that wave, like there is joy in everything. So there's a huge revolution, as we know, with like this team and where everyone's headed. And so let's ride that joy wave.
You know what? I absolutely love it. And yeah, I love this energy. And Griselda, I know that we've talked and I want to implore you and push you and encourage you to create more video. And the way that you're feeling right now, the energy that you're projecting to the entire team, this is the type of energy that makes for really good content. That genuine message that like came from, I don't know about you guys, but did you feel that coming out on the field? Like there was something behind that I haven't heard you speak like this before. And we've had many conversations. So whatever just happened, like capture that. This is who you should be when you're creating content. Like I felt that. So Griselda, I'm glad you had a really good time. And for everybody that was there, I'm glad you guys had a good time. And I thought it was a really powerful night, not just because it was one of the biggest parties that it is the biggest party we've ever thrown, but the timing of the party. And here's why. We looked at everyone's holiday parties in the industry, and quite frankly, they were boring. They looked boring. They looked like some of them were in the back of a VFW, and not putting too much shade on them, right? Budgetary, whatever. But what I'm saying is that in a time where you think that, well, the market slowed down a little bit, maybe we should just bring things in. We want to go the complete opposite way, but that's always been our mentality. Let's play as big as we possibly can. Let's bring some awareness to who we are. Let's spoil the people that are in our environment. Let's have some fun. And literally, you guys, I've been behind the scenes and helping, plan and everything, but not as much as Molly and Brian. But when I'm pulling up and they're like directing us on where to park and go in here, I was like, this is amazing. So glad you guys came out. Adrian, just a quick heads up, your camera's bugging out again, just to give you a heads up. I don't know, it's done that a couple times before, but it's bugging out, just to give you a heads up. All right, guys, so it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'd be remiss not to quote Martin Luther King. And I think it's powerful. I remember I was 19 years old and I had this printed and I had it in a cubicle. I was making cold calls in a cubicle. I was 19 years old. And you guys know the quote, and it states, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." And I believe that stands so true in what we do, that this business is going to be challenging. It's going to be tough. And the people that withstand that challenge and that controversy are the people that are going to win. So I want to share that with you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Really excited and grateful for you guys to be here. Quick show of hands. How many people are in Catalina's mastermind group right now that you guys are reading this book? All right, just give me a reaction on the buttons below. That way I can see. All right, guys. So the year is 1999. I am 19 years old, and I work for a company called iNet. Now, this is right at the dot-com boom. Long hair down to my belly button. I had to put it back in a ponytail and slick it all back and go in for my interview. And I got this interview. I got the position as a inside sales person for like the top salespeople in the company. I'd book all their appointments. Well, he said, if you want this job, in order for you to keep this job, you have to read 5 books in 30 days. And if you do that, I'm going to buy you 3 suits and I'm going to pay for your first 3 months of your car payment. And I'm 19 years old. He gave me a salary of $30,000. And at that time, 1999, if I'm dating myself, that was a lot of money. $2,500 a month. My rent at that time was right around, remember the numbers, $939 for a 1-bedroom apartment in La Mesa with a view. And the first book, and mind you, I was a kid from the streets. I was trying to clean up and do something, like professional. The very first book was the original Psycho-Cybernetics. And that book written by Maxwell Maltz, I think the book was written in the 20s, but it's been revamped and there's a new Psycho-Cybernetics. And the reason why it's new is because some of the fundamentals, ideals, and ways that they spoke there then wasn't directed to the masses. And so they've made some changes, which I think are really powerful. Point being is that I remember reading this book and I'm 19 years old and I'd never really tapped into human behavior or personal development or looking at your mind as a mechanism and all these things that are spoke about in this book. And so I think it's really powerful that you guys are reading this book. So what I'd like to start out with is I'd like to start out with a quote from that book. And I'd like to hear from 2-3 people that are reading this book. And maybe you can share some of your key takeaways so far. And then we're going to get right into coaching. So I saw this and I thought that it was really powerful. I think it's in chapter 3. And it says, human beings always act and feel and perform in accordance with what they imagine to be true about themselves and their environment. A lot of times when we go through life, we are trying to, like I've said this before, white knuckle it. And oh yeah, I'm successful. And oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. But like, you don't really believe that, right? And so I think that like, this is where imagination is so important in this business. Tony Robbins says that your mind doesn't know the difference, right? That we have to condition our mind and we have to treat our mind like a mechanism. And what we feed that is what is going to be, that what's going to come out outwardly. That's why I believe that even if you're not in this book club, get this book. It's called The New Psycho-Cybernetics. And so I'd like to hear from some people that are reading it. Do 2 people, 3 people want to volunteer to share some of their takeaways thus far from what they've read in the book? Who wants to raise their hand and take me through some takeaways? Anybody? Going once?
I'll share something.
Cool, Lauren, let's hear it.
I thought it was super interesting. I'm only through chapter 1, but I thought this was super powerful. When the image is an object of shame, you attempt to hide it rather than to express it. Creative expression is blocked and you become hostile and hard to get along with in regards to your self-image. So I thought that was super impactful in this career where we're constantly having to, maintain a level of professionalism and, grit and responsibility and all of these things. But like, if your self-image is like super poor, it's going to be hard to maintain consistency with that. So I thought that was super insightful. And like, literally you become blocked if you're trying to hide something.
Yeah. Wow. And do you agree that eventually that comes out and surfaces?
Yes, 100%.
Totally. Awesome. Good stuff. I saw a couple other people nodding their head. Who else would like to share any other current takeaways from the book? Juanita Rivera, let's hear from you. And wait a minute, hold on 1 second. Andrea, is your sister on?
Yeah.
Well, okay, crazy. So I'm looking on the screen so you guys can see it's Keila Lamadora. I'm like looking, I'm like, wait a minute. This looks just like you. So anyways, welcome Keila. I'm Elias. I was just
She's a new, she just got her license here in California. She's been in real estate. She has a broker license in New York. She's here in California now. So we're welcome her to the team.
Love it. Love it. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you guys are spitting images of each other. So sorry, Juanita Rivera, let's go back to you.
Yeah, I'm reading this book, and thank you to Catalina. I know she's not here, but she got us into this, and I'm reading it, and I try to read it so many times before I go to the next chapter or the next paragraph, because it's hard to understand it. But this, I like what I'm reading, so I'm gonna share this with you. It says that as learning takes place, correction becomes more and more refined. So that, for me, is powerful, because we're always trying to do the right thing. We're always trying to be perfect in everything. We have to make mistakes, and we are going to learn as we go. Sometimes there was something else that I read, when the way we grew up when we were little has to do a lot with how we behave now as adults. So reading this book has taken me back to my childhood and look at myself, the way I was raised, and why I do things now that I'm an adult. So this book is really powerful, and I invite you all to read it.
Absolutely. I believe the more and more that you dive into human development, psychology, what you find is that some of the ways that you think, some of the ways that you feel do not serve you, and some of your ego is saying, oh, this is right, and this is great, but at the end of the day, it may not be serving you. And so I love that, Juanita, and really great reflection. Let's hear from one other person. Give me some of your key takeaways from psychocybernetics. Anybody else want to go? Going once, and don't be shy. This is group coaching. Going twice. Don't leave me hanging. 3 times. Okay, I just received the book on Saturday. All right, cool. Let's do this, you guys. I want to shift gears. I had some questions. Who was at Focus and Fire, the first day mastermind before the party? All right, cool. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to hear a couple key takeaways from Focus and Fire, and what some of your action items are going to be. Maybe you can give a quick glimpse of what you actually learned there, so the rest of the people can kind of get brought into that circle. So Vernon, I know you were there. Lisette, you were there. There's tons of people. George was there. So who would like to take the mic and share some of their key takeaways? Vernon, is that you raising your hand? All right, yeah. So we'll go Vernon, we'll go George, and then Lisette, I am calling on you as well. All right, Vernon, let's hear it, big dog. And you know what, by the way, thank you. So I'm going to just digress for a second. So we're at the party, and we're having a great time. So I'm getting some water, and some drunk, and they weren't part of our team at all. They were just some guests that bought the ticket. So this guy pushes this lady, and I didn't know. So I just come up. I'm like, hey, bro, you got to leave. He's like, that's my wife. And he's all drunk. I was like, then fucking take her with you. Right. And then he starts to get all crazy. And so I said, you're leaving. And he gets in my face. So I had to literally grab the guy by his like lapel and like push him out. But everyone's stopping me. No, we got this. We got this. We got this. And we're outside. I'm like, just get him out of here, security. And then Vernon and Ali and Mike and a bunch of people like, nah, we got this, man. He's like, I remember Vernon saying, he's like, oh, we got that smoke if you want that smoke. But it was just like defending. And they're like, nobody threw any punches, all right? Nobody's jackets came off or anything like that. But the fact was, it was just like, I just want to say I appreciate you, because I didn't want any altercation. But at that time, if I see that growing up in a family that had domestic violence, I would have done that no matter where we were, no matter where we were. So I just want to say, Vernon, thank you for having my back.
Always, bro. And it would have been real quick too. Let's go back inside. Key takeaways. Man, Friday was powerful. I was blessed to be in the building. Thank you, E, for putting that on and bringing that, man, world-class panel to me. It was the first time I was exposed to something like that. And there were so many takeaways, but here's one that really resonates with me, and it's stuck with me since. And it's a simple question that we should all ask ourselves is, how many times do you betray yourself every day? And how many times are you going to continue to allow yourself to betray you? Man, that stuck with me. I'm feeling the vibration internally as I'm speaking it now, because we can either be our own worst enemy or our greatest cheerleader. And it lies within us to determine whether it's either loyalty or betrayal, bro. There is no in between. And so if we're betraying ourselves and we're not being loyal to ourselves, and if we choose ourselves, there, that in itself is loyalty. You know what I mean? You got to choose one or the other. So, man, that stuck with me, man. And I'm not the type of dude to betray myself. I'm loyal to the bone, as you saw on Sunday or Saturday. It's whatever. If we rock. And but that loyalty has to be self-applied and like strapped to me, you know, to where I wear it around my neck, like the Bible says, wear loyalty and kindness around your neck and don't let it depart from you. So that's what really that hit me, man. And
Wow.
thank
Wow,
you.
that's powerful, Vernon. So you guys, we sat through some amazing presentations and none of them are on here today, the people that spoke, but I have to say, Chelsea Wright was my favorite presentation. And she dove deep into psychology. And to elaborate on what Vernon was saying is that oftentimes we betray our own word, right? I'm going to go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. I didn't go to the gym that I'm going to go the next day. I didn't go. So what happens is that now you're in a habit of constantly letting down your own word. So I'm a person internally that doesn't live up to their own word. What do you think that does to your psychology, right? I thought it was powerful. And she went on to a whole 45-minute session. And by the way, as a precursor, her and I are going to be doing some sessions for you guys in the coming months. I think it's powerful. We're going to be diving deep into these conversations, but she really helped us understand, like, are we showing up for ourselves every single day and being loyal to our word? Are we constantly building this catalog of betrayal, saying that we're going to do all these things and then not living up to it? It's a constant letdown. Whether or not it is open to the world, it is something that you're dealing with internally. And this message that you're telling yourself is, I'm always the person that doesn't follow through. Always the person that doesn't follow through. Yeah, Christina, she's absolutely amazing. Let's go over to Lisette, and then we'll go over to George.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Already in the Brentwood office. I see you.
Yes, we are focused.
Yes, and fired up.
Super fired up and a little hoarse because I had way too much of a good time on Saturday. But I loved all the speakers. Everyone was amazing, but I'm with you, Elias. It was Chelsea that really hit home for me because so many of what she said just was about how you view yourself as a person and how strong your mind is and what you tell yourself really affects you. You know, she said that your beliefs eventually become your identity. And if you're walking around, whether you let yourself down or not, with that constant loathing, that will wear on you. And it just really kind of checked me to remind myself that my mind is really the most powerful anything in my life. And it is really up to me to control my thoughts and hone in and focus, because I am what I believe that I am. And, you know, one of the books that we're reading today, I can't remember what it's called, but the one that you
Psycho-cybernetics.
Yes. So that one really hits home in the sense that we're programmed to think a certain way based on how we were raised. You know, like I was raised in a very traditional home where me is the last person that I was trained to focus on. It was always about my husband, my kids, the home, and I'm not allowed to have time for myself or to put myself in as a priority. And hearing what Chelsea said really made me realize that I need to change that mentality, because if I don't believe that I matter, well, hot damn, then who will?
God, you know what? I love that. Really, really powerful contribution, Lisette. Because a lot of times, how many of you guys are nurturers on this call and everyone else comes first and then who takes the back seat, right? And I know, and I'll just speak for the moms and the dads on this call. Like a lot of times we're putting the family, we're putting them first. And obviously that's important, but well, what about me? Like I got to take care of me in order for me to be the best for them. So I really appreciate that insight, Lisette. Let's hear from George. George moving around this morning. George got a shout out on stage at the event. So George, let's hear from you, big dog.
Yeah, so I had actually two favorite speakers, and mine is just like your guys' is Chelsea Wright. I actually sat in the front row for all of them, and I DM'd her after and I told her, like, damn, I was really moved by what you said, because I actually almost cried, but because I was in the front and I know everyone could see me, I held my tears back, and I told her it just, I don't want to cry on you guys, but with what she said, it really, really resonated with me by just getting out of being a roadblock for yourself. But not only that, but like cutting a lot of negativity within your own life. And this is a little bit personal for me, but it's just toxic relationships, toxic family members. And like for me personally, like I haven't talked to my own mom in weeks. And it's just, for me, the relationship is toxic from time to time. And I just realized my goals that I have for myself and where I see my life, I just unfortunately have to cut some ties for the time being. I've been in an on again, off again relationship for the last 8 years that's been super toxic, and I know I need to cut it. So there's things like that I know that I really need to cut things out of my life to move myself forward. So that's what I was talking to Chelsea about afterward. But then it's also like, how am I going to reframe my own mindset to really level up? Like it starts from within. So like today I didn't even want to go to the gym, and I literally told myself, I'm so tired. I've been tired lately for the last few weeks, but these are the goals that I set for myself. And the only person I'm really going to let down is myself if I don't continue to push. And I don't want to be mediocre. I didn't come for money, but for me, like, I know, like, I really want to go far in life. And a lot of people don't really know this, but my parents met through gang affiliation. My college essay was that my mom did a drive-by with me in the car when I was 2. So my grandparents, I'm very fortunate, put me through private school. I mean, I have a lot of cousins that always tell me like, oh, wow, your parents are like these gay, or used to be these gangbangers, and then you turned out gay. And so like with what Chelsea said, it really, really resonated with me. And then, oh my God, sorry, you guys, this is like very personal for me to even share with all of you, but yeah. And so my second speaker that I really enjoyed was Lex. I really admire the fact is how he really built his business. And I'm starting farming. And one of the things that I took away from what he shared was, if you're in the start of your business, like just walk the farm, walk it every day and get to know people, get to know the farm. And I think that's something that I personally have missed when wanting to start a farm, is that I was just looking at the statistics rather than kind of getting to actually know the areas that I do want to farm. And then also just the strategy as to how he was choosing the areas that he does want to farm, in the sense that he was looking at what has good school districts. Like for me, I live in Hayward and I love Hayward. But after hearing Les's strategies, I was like, damn, Hayward actually doesn't have the best school districts. It is one of the most desirable locations right now because of where it is, like the heart of the Bay. But the school districts, I'm not gonna lie, are kind of shit. So I really looked at like how he's built his success, and I was like, damn, okay, he's choosing areas where the schools are like kind of going like that. And I noticed even when I did open houses in Livermore the last few weeks, I was like, holy shit, some of these houses are kind of shit, but people are coming to them because of the school districts, and they're getting like 30-40 groups. So it definitely made sense. So that's what I definitely took away from Focus and Fire.
Love it. Love it. And here's, just to give George some accolades. So Raquel, just said, hey, shout out to George. He's showing up in a big way. His visibility has gone through the roof. And so keep crushing it on social. So one of our speakers gave him a shout out, which I thought was cool. Kwanzo, let's go over to you and then we're going to shift gears. Thank you for sharing, George. Really appreciate you, bro.
Yo, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Yeah, all of the speaker were just straight up fire, but the one that gave me goosebumps, that it was just like, oof, like chills to the bone with Chelsea as well, is because it made me realize that if at least for me personally, I don't know if this resonates with everyone else, like I have to constantly stand guard at of my mind. I have to constantly, stay guarded and not to be complacent and to say, oh, I got this, like that. Yeah, like this is already, like, this is good. Like for me, if you guys follow me when I did the push-up journey, that was 6 months of push-ups, and then I did a 50K run last year as well. So I was doing all this stuff. I was like, man, I'm good. But what I didn't realize is, the spiral that she's talking about will happen with the smallest thing. If you just like basically betray yourself on the small things, it really spirals quickly. As something I forget to post it one day, or I forget to do a push-up one day, that my entire day is just different. Like the entire day, it just feels like so much more upward that I have to climb up because I'm fighting myself. And like, even today, I feel like if I don't continue with my rituals on a daily, like it's very easy to fall back down. So for me, it's like I gotta constantly stay guard of my mind and make sure that I continue to be true to myself and give myself permission and really, just basically follow my heart and just keep doing it.
Man, Kwan, I appreciate it, and wonderful contribution. And I'm really, really connected with that. You guys got to think about this. It's January 16th. We've already said what we're going to accomplish for the year. Well, what happens is that we set these lofty goals for ourselves. We make a declaration to the world. We share with everybody, but then we choose not to make content. We choose not to make our calls. We choose not to follow up. We choose not to have an accurate CRM. We choose to do all these things. So what is that saying? Am I betraying myself and saying, you know what, I actually want to hit this goal? Or am I doing every single thing to defeat me actually reaching that goal? And then you go back to like, well, I said I wanted to do this for my family. I said I wanted to do this for my family. Well, then why would you even remotely not follow through on the things that you know that you want to do? So this is why I want you guys to go back, and I mentioned this in my email earlier, go back to your VTO. In your VTO, you should be able to determine whether or not you are on pace or you're ahead of your pace for what you set for your goals. Meaning, it is now the 16th of the month. How many conversations should you be at right now in relationship to your goal? And if you're not at that, then it is still good enough time for you to change it. What you don't want to do is you don't want to compound those things, and you get into Q2, you're like, shit, I need to make sure I have a strong Q3 because I haven't done anything. So I want you guys to be conscious of these things, right? And a lot of times we make excuses, or we betray ourselves and say, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make the calls. I'm going to make that video. And then you don't do shit with it. You don't do shit. So let what people had just shared with you resonate with you. If you're in that room, it really spoke to you. But I want you guys to really take the message away is that you're either going to choose to honor yourself or you're going to choose to betray yourself. And if you continue to betray yourself, it's only going to stack up against you. And so appreciate you guys sharing on this subject. What I want everyone to do is I want you guys today to go into CSU, and I want you guys to start updating and recording your activities. It's very easy. I don't need you to put all of your goals in there. Go in there and start tracking. That way you guys know how many phone calls, conversations, how many emails, how many DMs that you guys are sending. And here's what I want you guys to do. This isn't for me. This is for you. I want you to go into your Instagram. And what I want you to do is I want you to do an audit of yourself. I'm going to ask yourself a couple questions. How much content have I created in the last 16 days? It's the new year. You have new opportunities. How much content have I created in the last 16 days? How many stories have I done every single day? How many accounts have I engaged with? What's going on with my social media? Have I chose to still wait and think about all the content that I'm going to create? Or are you actually going out there and doing something with it? And the reason why I share this with you guys, it's not a big deal. And these sessions are not about me, but I made that stupid ass video about tortillas, right? And it was like my spin on something that's serious. And then I just go downstairs and I'm in my tie-dye shirt that I slept in. And I make a stupid video about tortillas. And then my mom and my best friend in San Diego called me like, you're on the news. I was like, what? Like, you're on the news. They used my, well, United States of America banned gas stoves. That was the intro to my video. They used it as the intro to their pretty deep conversation about the issue. Now, mind you, it was 4 seconds, but what it says is that you never know what's going to hit. You never know. So take things that are happening in our environment, in the news, in real estate, take it and put your own spin on it and have some fun with it. Because I had no idea. Now, is that matter? It matters to me because more people saw it, more people saved it, more people shared it. And so it just says, all right, cool, then we're on to something. We're on to something, because if I never would have created it, nobody would have ever seen it. So the point is that you never know what's going to hit. Just try different things. And so do an audit of yourself right now. Take a look at what is going on your social media. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? Like, where are you guys at on your social media? We always talk about it because I know how important it is. Plus, you have the studio. So what I'm going to do is probably sometime this week, probably Wednesday, I was talking with Patrick. What we're going to do is we're going to do compilation videos from the Fast Studio, meaning I'll give you guys the prompt. You guys will go in and record a video on that prompt. Like, Lauren, what's the hardest part about starting out as a realtor? Lauren will go, Nayla will go, the guru will go. So you'll hear all these people, and then we'll put those into videos, which I think will be for really good content. But that's what I want to share with you guys. I want you guys to go to your VTO. I want you guys to see if you're on track, you're ahead of your schedule, if you're on pace. I also want you just to do an audit of yourself and be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Kenny will have conversations. He'll call people out. He'll probably DM you, create this, do this, Jackie, Otis, do this, but it's completely up to you, right? You have a choice. So do an audit of yourself, go back to your VTO, go into your CSU and make sure that that is really, really spot on. I want to ask you guys about open house activity over the weekend. How many of you, first off, you can give me a show of hands on your screen below if you guys hosted an open house over the weekend. All right, cool. Let's do this. I'd love to hear from Steffi, because Steffi, I think if I'm quoting this accurately, she had 57 groups come through her open house, 57. So Steffi, I would love to hear from you what your take is, what people are saying, where your property was. Let's hear a little bit from you. I want to talk about open houses and then kind of what the follow-up game is after that. So Steffi, take the mic.
Hi, yeah. Good morning, everyone. I held an open house in Newark with Justin, and it was okay. It was the busiest open house I've ever hosted. 57 groups is correct, and we just didn't know what to do at one point because we were supposed to end at 3, right? 1 till 3, because your girl had to get ready. But we had to keep going until 4 o'clock because people just kept on coming and coming and coming. And then we were just trying to take have as much as meaningful conversations as we could, but at the end of the day, like, there was only 2 of us and 57 groups, so we can only do so much. So it's really interesting. Like, yeah, I think it's great to have so many people come through, but at the end of the day, if you're not having meaningful conversations, it's like you're just a passerby almost. But that's why you have to really kind of trust your instinct and trust your gut to see like which group you should like hone in to, I think.
So Steffi, let me ask you a question. Still, obviously, brand new at this. How many leads did you capture, viable leads that you're going to be following up with? Did you follow up last night? You following up today? Kind of walk me through the cadence.
We started sending out text messages already to follow up yesterday and try to schedule appointments, but I would say maybe like 8 groups didn't have an agent. So we definitely have those groups to follow up with.
Beautiful. And are all those people already in your CRM?
Not at this time, no.
All right.
They will be.
Okay, perfect.
They will be.
I love it. So what I'm hearing is, let me know the price point of this house.
It is $997.
$997.
Yeah, 4.2 in Newark.
4.2, right under $1 million. I think if I were you guys, I would probably try to find some open house opportunities in New York. If you guys hear this, there's a huge opportunity. If you know you're going to have that amount of traffic, maybe it's 3 people that work this open house. So
Right.
good stuff,
Yeah.
Stephanie. I love it. I love it. We know I've know people that have hosted large open houses in a very busy community, and there's a person in every single room. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, oh, hi, welcome to the bedroom. Oh, hi, welcome to the master, whatever it is, right? So good stuff, Steffi. Dominique, you had your hand up. Let's hear from you.
Sorry, I'm on the iPad today and I hate Zoom on iPad.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm doing an appraisal for Livermore, and I always ask the agents questions about how many offers they had, just so I can get a better idea of why sometimes the price is the way it is. So it is a fairly smaller home. It's a 3-2, 1,400 square feet, and it's not fixed up. It's pretty much original. It's 28 years old, and they had it listed for 800,000, and they're in contract for 930,000. And he said that for the open house, they had 150 groups and 37 people wrote offers.
37?
37 wrote offers, yes. And
All right.
so and I was picking his brain a little more. He said the end of last year, he was a little dry. He's a grub agent. And then he said, as soon as January hit, he just picked up. He has 7 listings right now. He had 4 that just closed, and that the open houses have been majorly crazy in Livermore.
All right, so I'm sure everyone's thinking about this, or I'm hoping you're thinking about this from an appraisal. We don't need to know the address. Did the house appraise $130,000 over asking price? Did that house appraise?
This house is going to appraise actually more than 930,000, the actual contract price, which is amazing because it's really all original. There's nothing really special about it, but it's still.
On the house is listed at 800.
It's listed at 800, got in contract at 930, and I'm going to appraise it over 930.
All right, you guys. I don't know about you, but like that makes for some really good content, and you don't have to know anything about the address at all, but what it shows you buyer demand is up. Now, when we heard from Patty last week, there were so many great gems from that conversation, and some of you guys created some really good video from that. Take this opportunity and share that, because what's going to happen when that house closes? Well, now you have a new benchmark, right? You have a new benchmark for what the houses can potentially appraise for in that market. And so this is a huge milestone, and it's great to know we're that busy. So I appreciate that contribution. Wow, 130. That's reminds me of the Wild Wild West last year. Lisette and then George, you guys had your hands up.
Yes, I was showing Saturday in Livermore. And if we are hosting open houses, I would like to remind everyone to bring your A game. What I mean by that is this agent didn't even have the lights turned on in the home. No flyers, no anything. I mean, hello, we're trying to sell a home. And if competition is picking up, you have other agents out there that are really bringing it to the table, and we remember them. We remember these houses. Our buyers remember the great time that they had walking this property. They envisioned themselves in this property. So this is just a lovely little reminder that if you are going out there and hosting open houses, it's just not hosting an open house. There's a lot that goes into it, and don't be lazy. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Walk the darn house, turn on the lights. That's free.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we've talked about this before. It should be an experience from start to finish. Good stuff. Hey, George, was that an old hand or is that a new hand?
It's the new hand. Sorry, I just hopped out the shower, so my camera's off.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, no, you're good. So yeah, last week I had posted a reel on doing an overview for first weekend of open houses. So how Denise and I hosted a San Jose open house. We had over 15 groups come in and 10 without agents. So we've been following up with all those people, and their timeline has been literally between now and the next 6 months. About over 75% of them had said that they were actively looking to buy right now, and the rest said that they were kind of shopping. And I called a listing agent for a property in Burlingame that me and Christina are writing on today. And last weekend they had over 120 groups. this past weekend, that same house ended up having over 70 groups come in. And our buyers went back without us on Saturday, and they were like, hey, the traffic is still insane. It's just a little less people than last week. But we've also noticed too, when I hosted Melody's townhouse or condo, she had just put on the market, I think on Friday. I had like 15 groups come in, and everybody was like lingering, asking a ton of questions. I asked everybody to like, are you looking to buy like right now, or are you kind of shopping? And out of the 15 group, I think maybe about 2 people said that they were just kind of browsing until time permits, or until they find something that they like. They're like, oh, we're waiting for interest rates to drop, or like prices to drop. And I let them know like, yo, this is the data that I've seen just from my own experience the last week. But Melody had even already gotten an offer already. So I think she's going to get multiple offers on her condo, and she just went live on Friday, and she's already offered due date today. So I've definitely been seeing that a lot with a lot of agents where, I mean, shucks, we've been looking in San Francisco too. And there was a property that went on the market last Monday on Sanchez Street, and it was listed for, I think, like 2.5. And the agent hit me back and goes, hey, my seller's already getting offers. We're literally going to do the offer due date and look tomorrow. And it was already Wednesday. So it was like less than 72 hours. And when I followed up with her, I was like, hey, did you get at asking? She was like, nope, a lot higher. So I was like, 2.8. She's like, nope, a lot higher than that. So she got above 3 mil on her listing right now, with over 3 offers and ratified, like about 48 hours of going on the market.
Incredible. Yeah, look at Naila's reaction. Incredible. Here's something that Neil Dinger said the other day, that if we don't first and foremost believe in this market, then it's going to show. It's going to show in your efforts, it's going to show in your habits, it's going to show in your videos. Like, we need to truly, truly believe that we are in an amazing market right now. I believe that. You'll never hear me make any excuses. And so you guys are starting to see things change and people come out of the woodworks. This is a great opportunity. It's been a great opportunity. Quan, what's your contribution? Is that an old hand or a new hand, bro? Eyes on the road, big dog. All right, going once, going twice. We're going to move on. All right, cool. Anybody else have a successful open house that they want to talk about from over the weekend? Going once, anybody? Going twice? 3 times. Okay, cool. Hey, Ernesto, I don't know where you are, if you can talk about, I would love to hear from you about your takeaways from Focus and Fire. Ernesto, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear now.
Yeah, I, like many people, was really impressed by what Chelsea had to say. It all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself, and it's something that I say a lot. And it's really abstract work, right? Because you can't really give somebody like a to Z game plan on how they can start to believe in themselves. So hearing people on this call doing things like reading books like Psycho-Cybernetics, which I haven't read, but I've read so many others, and personal development is something that I'm very much involved in. And I personally have, seen a dramatic change in the way that I see myself, and how that then, there's a saying that I heard, how you speak to yourself in silence is how you show up in the world. And to what you just said, like, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in this market, you're not going to do well. And so going into this year, I feel like, and my prediction is that it's going to be a challenging year. Like, the days of your phone ringing off the hook with Zillow leads that want to go see houses and write offers, I think those days are probably behind us. But that's all a good thing. The people that are in this market, the agents, the buyers, the sellers, those are people that are motivated. And so I think there's just as much, if not more, opportunity. I'm curious to see how, when the data comes out, how many agents don't renew their MLS dues and just decide to throw in the towel. I also see a lot of legacy agents in my market that frankly are lazy, and they put out a shit product, and I look at their listings and I'm like, holy cow, like, I wonder if their seller looked at the marketing, the staging, the photos. Like, there's and I don't say that, I always say this as well, I don't have to put somebody else down to make myself feel better, but objectively observing of what's happening in the market. Like I think Lisette just said, right, bringing your A game to the open house. There's a huge opportunity for people to step it up and do a much better job. So I am excited about this market. I think it's going to be challenging, but listening to what Chelsea had to say is just a really, really good reminder. Like, it starts with you. If you go into a situation believing you're not worthy, you're not going to get that listing, you're too new, all that stuff is going to reflect in your conversation. So having her be part of the panel, where a lot of times it's very objective stuff, like it's Lex showing us how to farm, it's Neil showing us how to do video, it's Raquel who helps, she is known for helping teams like Team Fast scale and grow their business, but it all starts with whether or not you believe in yourself. And so having Chelsea be a part of that panel, whoever made that call, I think that was a smart move.
Yeah, you know what, man, I really resonate with what you just said. And when Chelsea reached out to me, I knew Chelsea, but I didn't know the depth of what she would speak about. So I said, what would you speak about, Chelsea? And she's like, well, to speak about this. I said, let me see your slide deck. And I went through her slide deck and there was no question about it. The fact that she raised her hand, and asked for the stage, first off, I had mad respect for her. And then I looked through her slides. I'm like, this is ideal. And it broke up the presentation because it was a very eclectic group. It kind of broke up the presentation and I didn't know the impact that it was going to have. So good stuff, Ernesto. Let's go to Lauren. Just stepped away. Is Linda still here? Lauren, when you come back, I'm going to turn the mic over to you in a minute. Well, there she is. So Lauren, if you can you share with everybody what's going on in Panama? Because I'm actually going to book my ticket. I got to talk with my fiance, but I'm going to book my ticket. You want to share with everybody what this Panama trip is and what it means and what we're actually going to do when we're in Panama?
Yeah. So Linda actually brought this opportunity to the team. So she's become a partner with ITA Global, and they facilitate essentially tours to countries where they're looking to build out their real estate developments, I guess. So we are going on a 4-day tour to Panama. Well, they'll take us all over and we'll tour the various types of real estate for overseas investments. So economically, they're about where Costa Rica was about 10 years ago. So there's a lot of opportunity for people who are maybe wanting to retire, buy offshore investments. So there's a great opportunity there for us as agents to essentially help our clients invest overseas, and essentially also be able to help them here in the US as well. So we'll be going on this tour. She's been on the tour before and she's a partner with them. So last year after her trip, she had 2 buyers who wanted to take a tour of Panama. So ITA set up an entire buyer tour for them. And they actually bought 2 condos and she secured a referral fee. So it's a really great way to build out your business if you have investments or investors who are looking to invest somewhere else. She actually also has a lender that will allow her clients to take equity out of their home and invest that into Panama. So it's a really cool real estate discovery tour. I'm super excited. This is a new partnership for Linda and I, and we're looking to potentially do this in other countries as well, Mexico, Belize, other places. So if you can't make it this time, no big deal. We'll be doing additional in the future, but I'm super excited. So I'll drop the link in the chat for you guys so you can check it out.
I love it. And think about this not only for consumers, but also for you to be able to attract in a big way. EXP does exist in Panama. And so it's twofold here. So I'm actually really excited. I just have to talk to the boss a little bit more, but I think I'll be able to make this trip. So let's do this, you guys. Let's close out. But before we do, I just had a moment the other night and I just reflect, and I'm always full of gratitude. Right? When we go to this party and there's a bunch of people that I didn't know that were coming up to me and like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Hey, I've been following you or I see your stuff. Well, man, great stuff. What you've done with the team. Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? And it was really, really cool. And it was overwhelming at times and you're sweating and you're dancing, whatever. But like, I was realizing, I was looking around and I told Kenny this, I told a couple of people, I'm like, I didn't know any of these people 3.5 years ago. Like none of these people knew me 3.5 years ago. I didn't have the connections that I have with you guys. We hadn't reached the level of connectedness that we have today. I didn't know you guys. And I didn't know a lot of those people, none of those people in that room 3.5 years ago. And to see where we've came and how we've grown and what we've done in a very short amount of time, it just made me super humble and grateful that anything is possible in this game. Anything is possible, you guys. We were 12 and now we're 360, right? I just had a moment and it completely humbled me and I was completely full of gratitude. And so I want to share this with you before I turn it over to you guys. If one advances confidently in the directions of his dreams and endeavors to live life which he has always imagined, he will he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. And I felt that was really, really powerful. So you guys, I want to leave you with that. I'm going to go around the room, hear from a couple of our guests today, hear what some of their takeaways were. Nalo Jones out in the Palm Desert, key takeaways from your time with us together today.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My takeaway, I totally believe in manifestation and believing in yourself and saying mantras to yourself and just always be positive and just believe that anything is possible. And it is, if you just do the hard work. It may take some time and it may not come in as fast as you would like it, but it does. If you just keep with it and stick with it, it will come to fruition. I totally believe that. So I just want to say I was so happy to meet all of you and just keep it moving and just keep trying to reach your goals and just stay positive. So that's my takeaway.
And thank you for being here. Nalo's considering joining our team and bringing fast real estate to the Palm Desert. So thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And regardless if you did that, you're still welcome to this environment. This is open to everybody. Let's go over to Keila Lamadora. Let's hear from you. Key takeaways from you, Keila. Am I saying it right? Is it Keila? All right, you're on mute. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Key takeaways from our time together, rapid fire.
Okay. Key takeaway is definitely believing in yourself. Definitely, I wasn't at your event, but coming back to California after 20 years in New York and building the business on the West Coast has always been a dream. So I'm finally able to like achieve that. And it did take some time for me to get here to be able to like come to California and be back with the family. So yes, definitely believing in yourself. I'll still be also managing my team out of the East Coast in New York, but from the West.
I love it. Wait,
yes.
Where are you at right now? Is this your home?
This is our sister's home in San Pancho, Mexico, and
Wow.
it is insane. So I do spend a little time here at the beginning of the year to just kind of reset and get my mind stable for the new year. But this is where she lives, and I'll be here just for a few more days.
Wow, that's incredible.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Can't wait to meet you all.
Thank you for the invite. I'll be there in a couple months. No, thank
Absolutely.
you. So, I love it.
All
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Aaliyah. Aaliyah, I'm going to have you wrap up the session. Key takeaways from our time together this morning. Great to see you. Aaliyah, go ahead and wrap us up and then take us off the field.
Okay. My key takeaways so for me personally, the content thing I've only posted once this year so far. So my key takeaways were to get back on it and get back into where I need to be to continue, not focus on the past, but just push forward. Yesterday was yesterday, today's a new day, and this week is a new week. So with that being said, this is a new week. So let's forget about yesterday, whatever was happening or whatever was happening in our past. Today's a new day of new mercies and new opportunity to serve others. So let's get it.
I love it. Did you say new mercies?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. What I want to challenge you to do this week, Aaliyah, because you're so vibrant, you're so good on camera, just go and lock yourself in the fast booth. What happens when you're like, me and Lauren were in there the other day and she had a session, she had books and she was all ready. I was like, hey, let's just hop on the camera and just say some stuff. And she's like, what are we saying? I'm like, let's just go through our pet peeves. Like, so many people commented on that silly video and it literally took us 2 shots. The only reason why it took us 2 shots, because first time we were looking not at the camera, but anyways, just go and lock yourself in that room, reserve it for an hour, and then have some notes, some ideas of some content that you want to create, and just record All right, no, I don't like that. Record again, record again, record again. And then by the time you leave that booth, you'll have quite a few videos that you've created to change the lights so it looks different. If you want to change your shirt, whatever you want to do, but go and lock yourself in the room this week, Aaliyah, and create some cool content. All right, can you do
It's
that?
on my calendar, 1 to 4 today.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. It's already there. So you guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your contributions. I knew that the session would go a little bit deeper, but rightfully so. We heard some really impactful things over the weekend. So you guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for showing up. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and crush your week. Peace, you guys.